All right. All right. So my hair is messed up. So let's talk about how to study. The study is a lot of time like you gotta figure out what the teacher's tendencies. Usually when, huh?
What are your tendencies?
Great question. You really, very great question. What is my tendency? My tendency is all on the notes. And Deborah knows all the question that's on the test is always on the notes. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the things that you guys go in to watch the organic chemistry guy. I go watch other thing. I mean, the guy is great. Don't get me wrong. Like organic chemistry guy knows his stuff, but he doesn't write your tests. I write your tests, so I might be shitty, but I'm still better than organic chemistry as far as in this class goes. So they are a lot of crap on YouTube. You gotta pay attention to those craps. Not just because you search up because this thing does not apply to you in a lessons, right? So let's talk about those. You're not always gonna apply those in any random YouTube guy is gonna teach you how to do things. You gotta be cautious with those. Whether this is my class or future class, always go into a source that's more direct. I think that's the best resource. Okay, is there better a YouTuber out there than um, organic chemistry tutor? Yes, there's a lot. There's a lot of great people, but there's also a lot more, even more crappier than organic chemistry tutor. So you gotta learn when to use what. Okay, I would recommend few people. However, like for me, like if you really want to understand like better video out there that does future reference, I will introduce you um, Professor Lehner. So Professor Lehner is great. So I'm gonna just hear Professor Lehner.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not like a million people on YouTube.
Now I love this guy. This guy teach everybody like they are third grader. Um, just so fundamental. Each detail algebra steps showing. It's not like a professor just skip 10 steps. He is very very good. Matter of fact, UCF kids pass the class calculus class because him. It's not because of professor. Okay, so this guy is good. Okay, so this guy, if you look up his you can look up his just look up his review.
I need to find the best
That
way to learn math and science.
So let's just look at a review. Like they say, yeah. So I sincerely thank you so much for making this video for free in public. My math has been incredibly tough, but I really struggle with the material. I love math, I'm just not good at it though. While watching your video, just click. It seems all fall into pieces. And this is probably a very good. This probably are very good reviews. And this guy is really knows what he's talking about. This guy sincere know 1,000 times more math than I do. Now, if you ever want to watch him, if you ever not survive in Calculus 2 or Calculus 3 or differential equation, this is the guy to go to. This guy will save your butt because UCF professor is a Chinese guy. Nobody understand him. And he's bad. He's awful. Because I did my live stream for UCF kids, like 100 people show up through Twitter. And they all say like I'm a I'm a better professor than the guy is. Not just saying that the topics, but all the people that have same common ground is they use this professor to pass their Calc 2, differential equation, linear algebra. So he covered all the way to linear algebra. He's gonna do other classes in the future. Now this guy is great. He teach the math most fundamental way, not just solving the problem, teach student how to understand. This is a very crucial for you to actually get a resource from. Okay, this guy, it doesn't matter what across the board, even you taking my class, this guy will be a good additional understanding. Okay, especially Calc 2 and differential equation. Actually, I didn't know how to teach BC. I watched this guy. I teach myself how to talk BC. And so those are things that you guys can get it from. Blue pen and red pen, great, but it's not a very best resource because
Tattoo.
red pen and blue pen, I think so. Red pen, blue pen. Oh, red pen, black pen? I don't know.
Black pen, red pen. You're close.
Black pen, red pen. Okay, so this guy is great. But the thing is not very good resource. Okay, so he's too scattered. He's too scattered everywhere, but he knows what is he talking about. Very good if you're doing competition. Very good if you're doing Calc 2. Very good if you're interested on the question that usually that's not able to solve. For math competition, this guy's great. So I love the guy. My favorite guy that make sure that I really like is 80 Wu. If you ever wanna learn about math, I think it's how to spell Wu. This guy. This guy's content is great. He is actually become a TV host now, and a TV host show is very cool. I try to download the show, but it's very interesting. I learned a lot of things from him. Okay, so and he talks about a lot of interesting things. He talk about a decision support system. I have no idea what is that. He talk about communication network system, database system. He does a lot of good courses. For me, that this is a very good math person, very good math teacher. I use a lot of his thing as I teach today. I learned a lot from this guy. I think that's one of the best math teacher out there. Teach about why 0 factorial is equal to 0, and actually why divided by 0, and why all the things that visual proof Pythagoras is all very good. So those are again a good resource. Okay, so learning how to decipher the good resource, ask other people, ask your teacher to recommend a good resource, not just any random resource that's going to be helpful. Now, this guy is not very systematic. It's not going to help it for in your class. As far as class go as a calculus, I think Professor Lindner are the best. This is for me to gain extra information about certain things. Okay, he is actually phenomenal teacher. Phenomenal. Not just the way he represents something. You ever watch his video? If you watch the complex number series, very good. I learned a lot from him. There are other people, Krista King. She is very good. She talk about ABBCs. She does very good. She's more like a AP calculus type. I don't teach only toward AP calculus, but she's very AP calculus person that who can teach you how to crack the exam. Nancy Pai. Nancy Pai, Nancy Pai just guys think she's hot. That's just how it is. Not gonna lie, she's pretty good looking. So yeah, that's a very good resource for things. I don't think she's a very systematic, but she does very good videos. So I think those are the people I will go to. Organic chemistry tutor, I don't think is the one that I will go to, but that's just me. But it doesn't also help you in my class. Now let's talk about my class. Let's talk about my YouTube video. My YouTube video are shit. There you go. Wait, why is it still sideways? So I will tell you like some people say, oh, what's on the test? And guess what? This question is on the test. Wait, hold on. Did I talk about projectile? So I'm gonna be dealing with projectile function. This whole equation is gonna be on test. How do you study? Go into it before you can say, oh, before I go over part A, and I'm gonna say try to do it myself, see if it makes sense, and see if logically makes sense. And that's logic makes sense. Now, Julia was not here yesterday, and I got mad at her. She's like, she went through a whole retake test. She said, I studied for 6 hours. I said, you didn't study. The result doesn't show the study. I said, how do you study? She said, I watched this black screen math guy. I'm like, what the hell is a black screen math guy? And huh? Khan Academy? Is it? Okay, so the guy is awful. The guy is awful. I think it is because it's not going to be for my class. It's not because he's awful. That's just the way it is. I will tell you this question is on my test. It's going to be pretty much the same, just different number. So if you want to make sure you know how to do projectile, go in to do this question over again. See if you understand it. You can do it twice speed. Just you work it out and then go check your answers if right. That's the best time to go through something. Go through the something that you know the answer is correct, and that's on the test. And I will tell you that if you go into, if those of you guys did a retake, right? And I will tell you that there was a lot of people that does do this. Shut up, will you? So a lot of people does says, okay, well, implicit derivative. Go into back to look at implicit derivative, and if you pay attention, now you're gonna say, oh, okay, most people have a problem with this question: x squared plus y squared equal to 4. The second derivative. This question is on the video, and I can't believe you're still asking each other. Go back to look at the video. It's all there. If you do the retake, you know this question says x squared minus y squared equal to negative 16. If you did a retake. Do you guys remember that question? Yep, it's on that. So the more crazy is this question exactly the same thing was cosine x plus y squared equal to y squared. The only thing I changed for the questions from y to y squared. And on the real test, I changed this to cotangent. So that's the only thing that's a little bit different because you have to remember the derivative of cotangent. And let's go look at this question. This question was a 6 instead of 3. I mean, rest of them pretty much more or less similar and maybe not be the same every single question, but I love to have a negative sign in the front. This is my tendency because you need to learn to distribute that negative sign into both. If you want to know tendency, I love to teach students how to distribute negative signs. And what you guys always screw up is this sign. I think Deborah screwed up this sign right here. Yeah, so this sign she forgot to distribute, and she have everything else correct. She got a wrong sign here.
I would do something like that.
Yeah, so I will tell you like there is my tendency. I'll teach you my tendency, but you guys gotta learn to listen. This is the things that I think that a lot of you guys don't listen is the things like this. Now for this questions, I'm gonna go over again. But yeah, I want to do the rocket problem that you guys have so much problem with. And I've been talking about constant on the bottom since the first day. If you watch my video, since the first day we talked about relationship. Yesterday, I'm like people struggling. What is constant? So we're gonna talk about it again. Just make sure you understand it. A lot of you guys don't understand stuff, and I gotta make sure you understand it. So that's fine, and I want to teach you to understand it. So let's go through this worksheet, and let's do things. Yes?
Okay, for like the constant on the bottom, sometimes it was a hypotenuse, so I would do the like, not like, if it was like, you know what I'm trying to say? If it was like cosine, I would just switch it, so it'd be like, secant, and second have constant on the bottom?
Yeah.
Could I do that?
You have to do that with one of the search right questions.
Okay, okay.
The one that is the guys running across on the rope, on the rope one. I think that was that's the difference. So let's talk about this question in general. Like, how do you decide what is on the top and what's on the bottom? So if you pay attention to this, if you did the first part correctly, I think you should get 640. Did you get 640?
Yeah.
Part A. Okay, so this question basically understand what is the constant. That's the first understanding that you need to know is what is constant. Well, they say among the 3,000 feet from the rocket launch pad, this is 3,000. And this is 4,000. And of course, this 3, 4, 5 triangle is 5,000. And if you realize, it doesn't matter if it's a ratio, it doesn't matter. You can simplify all the zeros. The zero is much easier. Now, I'm going to call this one besties. And that has to do with besties. Anyway, bestie is like my best friends. Constant is best friend. In time-related rate, constant is going to be your best friend. Recognize who's your best friend. Is Devin my best friend? No. Yes, Devin's my best friend. So, look. Recognize that. That's the guy you gotta rely on. Not anything else. Everything else is all crap. Okay, so if you look at this, they say if you look at here, it says among the 3,000 a camera need to swivel as a rocket launch. And we have also the DHDT here or DYDT. So DYDT is going to be this one. So let's write down DYDT. So DYDT is equal to 800. It's constantly changing. Something that doesn't change, that is only on the bottom. So the ladder doesn't change is the hypotenuse. But this one that doesn't change is between the rocket and the camera. No, on the launch pad and the camera. Sorry. Does that make sense? That doesn't change. So I'm just gonna answer A. A is gonna be the rocket is rising at 8,000 feet, but this one just gonna be x squared plus y squared is equal to the z squared. And z squared is gonna be constant. No, so this x squared is constant. So it's gonna be what?
Yeah.
3,000 squared plus y squared equal to z squared, right? So now I'm going to take a derivative with respect to time. So d to the dt, that's going to be 2y dy dt is equal to 2z dz dt. And if you can plug in, so 2, y is going to be 4,000, and dy dt is what? 800 equal to 2 times 5,000 and dz dt, right? And then you can solve for that. So that's going to be 2 times 4,000 times 800 over 2 times 5,000. And looks very scary. No, you don't need to use calculator. Devin's mom will tell you that. Devin's mom's like, dude, just simplify. Right? So this is going to be 4 over 5. So it'll be 3,200 over what? 5, which is equal to 640 feet per second. And that's it, done the first one.
Can you just like divide by 2?
What?
Can you have this divided by 2 on both sides to begin with?
You can. It doesn't matter. Math work.
Mysterious ways.
No, not my way. Math work either way, long as you do mathematics correct. Now, I'm going to talk about why constant need to be on the bottom in this situation. If constant need to be on the bottom, what is this, why that's important, right? So I'm going to use sine, cosine, tangent. Now, can you use cotangent, cosecant, and secant? Yes, absolutely. Longest constant on the bottom. Here we give it 3 choices. So some people say don't know what is constant. The constant is something that doesn't change. If you take 2 consecutive picture, like when the rocket is shooting up, of this whole situation, the one thing that does not change is from the launch pad to the camera. The camera is not moving back, it stays the same. The launch pad is not moving back, it stays the same. But the rocket is moving at higher and higher. So distance between launch pad and the rocket and distance between rocket and the camera is constantly changing. The only thing doesn't change is between the bottom part. So that's the bestie. We call it bestie here because bestie is going to be on the bottom. So I hear that's if I use this, then you see sine. Sine is going to be z. Sorry, not z. So it's going to be y over z, right? Because it's this is the angle. Oh, by the way, you had to address that angle because that's how fast the data changing. That's angle elevation. Guys, the angle elevation is not this one. That doesn't make sense. That's actually angle nothing. Now, some people is going to have this. This is called angle depression. Angle depression and angle of elevation is always the same. Always the same, regardless of what happened. Because it's never this one. This one's actually complement of angle elevation or complement of angle the depression. But this is called angle depression, this is angle elevation. So this is called line of sight, this is line of sight. Line of sight is from the rocket, that's called line of sight. It's from between line of sight to the object. So that's the angle of depression. Am I losing anybody? No. Is that okay? If I were to take a derivative y over z here, that's going to be cosine of theta, and that's going to be low d high plus high d low
Plus?
over low minus, thank you, minus low, so z squared. ugly situation. This is not a good choice.
Wait, what? Yeah.
Oh yeah, this d data dt method.
Okay.
So this cosine data. I was focusing on the right side. So cosine data, d data dt. Very, very ugly, very, very disgusting. Not a good choice. Cosine data. Is that a good choice? Well, we don't know. We're gonna say that's 3000 over the h, right? Or over the z. Sorry, we'll call it z. So then you say, well, let's take a derivative of this. Derivative of this is very gross. It's not as gross as before, but it is gross. So if I take a derivative of that, it's going to be negative sine data, d data dt, right? Which is the one you're looking for. And this is going to be negative 3000, z to the negative 2, and the dz dt. First of all, you got to do z to the negative 2. That's very confusing. A lot of you guys don't know how to take a derivative correctly here.
Wait, could you move your little
What?
speaker thing, like the microphone thing? Sorry.
Yeah.
Or you could like scroll up a little bit.
Okay, so that would be dz dt. Very, very gross, right? Very, very gross. First of all, you had to take z to the negative 1. I always hate to take a derivative of z to the negative 1. Not like saying you guys not able to do it. You guys have to be able to do it, but it's not my best choice. My best choice is constant on the bottom. I've been saying that every day. So constant on the bottom, you're gonna make sure that this one and this one has 3000, and this y. Now, why this is nice? Because derivative tangent is going to be secant square, right? D data dt. So I'm going to say this is prefer as 3000 d data dt, and what else is equal to, my bad, is 1 over 3000 times dy dt. Why? Why do I look at it like that? It's 1 over 3000 y. That's how you're supposed to look at it. And if you take a derivative, then it'll be 1 over 3000 d data dt. So secant squared data, I'm missing a data there. So d data dt is equal to 1 over 3000, and dy dt is 800. And if I divide by both sides, it's going to be a 1 over secant square. And I don't like secant square. I will do 8 over 30 here because I'll cancel the zeros, and I'll send you cosine squared data. And that's equal to 8. Do not post on internet. You guys didn't see that? 4 over 15. Does that make sense? And cosine data is what? In this case, what is the ratio?
30,500 to 3/5.
So will be 3 over 5 square. So 3000 over 5000. Please do not do 3000 over 5000 square. It's just 3 over 5. So it'll be 4 over 15 is times by 9 over 25. I think this one is going to be 3 and 5. And that's equal to 12 over 125 radian per second. What does that mean? That means 1/10 of radian is roughly equal to 5 degrees. 5 degrees, because 1 radian is 57.3 degrees. So it's 1/10 of that. So it's 12 over 125. How many of you guys got this one right? Okay, good. Natalie, do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Did you get it right? Okay, but do you understand now? Okay, try it. We're gonna ask you to try a question with the angle because everybody has struggled with angle. So there's a question, and I'm not even gonna do the drawing for you. I want to try this questions here. You should get, and then sure, end the result, you should get 5 over I mean, I don't know. Sorry, it's not 5 over. It's something else. You figure out for this one. I think you got 3 over 500 or something like that. Negative.
It's negative 3 over 5. For which one? 11?
Now you guys are gonna try it. So how many of you guys did not get negative 3 over 500 here? You did not? You did not?
No.
Try again. If you don't know, ask Edison. Because I think I go over with you, right? Step by step. Learning how to study, learning how to understand. Do your homework. You guys already got it done with do your homework part. I think that's taken a big transition for you guys from the last year's class to this year's class. This year's class, you have to do your homework. Chaparral is great. But this class is it's just AP. It's college level. It's gonna be different. Actually, pre-calc class is one of the hardest class to teach, actually.
They make me end it with AP.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone started with pre-calc. The average for the last test is like a 20. Crazy.
What'd you say?
The average for the last pre-calc test is like a 20. 20%.
That's lower than mine. Well, my 7th period is pretty bad. My 7th period average is about
Average setup is worse.
my 7th period is bad. No, I just have a lot of people who don't care. That's another. Like all you guys pretty much care. Like Man care, Al care, Natalie care, Jorge care, Deborah care, Devin care, Edison care. Yeah, it's pretty much everybody's. Or at least you maybe you pretend to care more.
Yeah, you like that? There's a coincidence. Yeah,
-3 over 500. First of all, another thing you have to make sure it makes sense. It's intuitive, it makes sense. The guy's walking that way, the angle is getting smaller or bigger, right? Those are the things that you have to see if it makes sense to you. If the guy's walking that way. Now the rocket's going up, the angle has to be bigger, right? But this guy's walking that way, is the angle getting smaller or bigger? That's the things that you gotta answer. Oh, you got -3 over 500. You don't know if it's rudder is right, but you know the sign is right. Because all getting is smaller when the person's walking toward the other directions. Did they tell you which direction they walk?
Away from the light.
Away from the right.
In
Yeah.
the air.
Keywords away. And on SAT, I had to teach people how to annotate. It's such a underrated skill. I teach my son how to annotate. So I don't need to annotate. I know everything I read. No, you don't. You got it wrong, you dummy. Be patient. Take your time.
that's correct.
What'd you say? Did Ron Garage eventually tell you?
Did what?
Ron Garage tell you?
No.
No. Okay, good.
Probably left out.
No, it just won't be a proper thing for me to say.
That's fine. You could say it to Sergio though. Don't tell me.
I didn't even tell BC class.
You didn't.
None of the BC class knows.
Just call him up, make him think that he's in trouble today, and then tell him that, and then just tell him to go sit back down. Show it to him on a paper, like write it out, and
No.
give it to him, and then like make him sit down. That'd be really funny.
Trent, did you get it? Very good. Armin, did you get it? Okay, maybe Trent can help out Armin. Nathan, did you get it? Mia, do you need help? You got it? Okay, maybe ask Nathan to help you. But first of all, ask the question is what is a trig function you use? If you need help, Edison will be glad to help you.
I will be glad. Right, Deborah?
I'm working on it, Addison.
She wanna be an independent woman. If you guys need help, like the trend got it, you can check the answer with Tony and see any other question that you want to match it up. See.
Oh, 13?
Yeah, but we did this, yes.
Oh, yeah, we did. Hey. So basically, it's like the picture really helps with this one. So basically, this is the shoreline, and that's the lighthouse. So this is going to be below 7.5 because it's located at 0.5, like from straight shoreline. So you know that's like away from it. So then it's like if the beam of light is moving 2 miles per minute along the shore. So like this is the lighthouse, or like the lighthouse like here, and then this is the shoreline. So the lighthouse, like the beam of light is going like this back and forth across the beach, like you know how a lighthouse works. So it's just going back and forth across the beach. And it doesn't move. It's gonna be the dy over dt.
Wait, so this is
You using the sign,
Yeah.
Jorge?
Wait.
Sorry?
Don't
Okay,
use
so
sign.
I did it a little.
I said don't use sign.
I did a little like.
No,
that.
No, we're not using sign, we're not using sign. It's later on this.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
You convert it. You move to the other side. It
Yeah,
becomes
yeah,
sign
yeah.
square. Negative though.
So it's like-
Yeah.
But I guess we can also make it X. So then it's just.
Am I an idiot?
So that's y over.
What's the final answer?
-3 over 500.
I'm an idiot.
I-
-3?
What you could flip it, I guess.
I'm just dumb. I'm just stupid. Okay.
One second.
Okay. Okay. I guess I'm really not good with this.
This problem, wait. So what's that floating space? If, so, this is what.
Oh, I used it wrong.
Yeah, and then this side.
I'm not stupid.
And then this is the constant.
Since the.
Yeah, stupid. Just careless.
Yeah, the angle's like because the light's shining like
You can
down
calculate.
across the beach.
So
and
that's
it's
how
moving.
that's true.
It'll be, it promise you.
I don't like this.
We have 100 squared.
It has to be 5
And, then it says, what's the angular
It's
velocity?
answered.
But when it's like
It's 1 mile
You see what I'm trying to say?
perpendicular. Let's actually
1 mile from the
Yeah.
Is this one?
so if the
Yeah.
light was perpendicular, it would
not
point
Maybe
straight
one of-
up this way, and then it would be perpendicular to the shoreline. So if it's 1 mile away from the perpendicular, then it's like this. Then 1 more mile.
Yeah.
away, and then it's pretty straight. So then this is 1 mile.
I'm not done with it.
But it's like
1 mile. Oh.
so yeah.
You understand it better?
Yeah. See? Big brain, right?
Do you understand better or no?
Yeah, because I thought I had to look for an angle or some shit like that. But no, I just had to like do the opposite over hypotenuse and put the numbers in and I got the answer. But no, I was looking for an angle like some dumbass. But
No, you are looking at how fast the angle is changing.
I know, but I was looking for actual degree value to
Oh,
put into
okay.
beta.
Okay.
But no, I got it.
What is the angular?
So if you did it right, you should get -3 over 500 on this one. And then you can try this one now, the revolving light. I don't know this one. This one's 4 over 5 or 1 over 5 or something like that.
I got negative. Depends on the shoreline.
Okay, we'll see. Use a half.
Well, the shoreline it's 1 mile, but
So it's like really hard.
it's like see, because my shoreline is y, so then dy over dt is the 2 miles, but then my like distance is x, so then the x is dx over dt.
Yeah, this is this way.
Again, I have
to
one of the
two.
people help me, so I don't know if this makes like sense.
You know what?
Yeah.
So
Does it, Natalie, did you get 93 over 500? Edison, can you help him out?
Help who out?
Natalie,
Yes.
Sorbert, and Matt.
I was confused on the verbiage for this one. What does it mean by 1 mile from perpendicular?
Okay, perpendicular is the one that is crossed, is like directly
Yeah.
across the shore. So 1 mile away from that. So is one. So that triangle is forming. That's 1 mile.
Oh,
Horizontally.
the hypotenuse is like 1 mile away.
No, not hypotenuse. It's the x value is 1. Because they say a revolving light is located at 0.5 miles. So you know that shortest distance over there is 0.5 or 1/2. If the beam of the light is moving at 2 miles per minute, so it's moving 2 miles per minute along the shoreline. What is the angular velocity, which is d theta dt, when the beam is 1 mile for perpendicular? You know where the perpendicular is, right? It's 1 mile away from that. So it's on the top part of the triangle. It's not a hypotenuse. You thought it's hypotenuse.
Wait, can you like draw it on that triangle? I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm over.
Edison, go explain it.
It's like,
No, go up in the front. Go up in the
No.
front.
So the lighthouse here, so then it's like 1 mile away from being perpendicular. So if it was perpendicular with the shoreline, it'd be like this. So it's 1 mile away because the light is moving like that. It's forged
So
across.
it's the hypotenuse basically.
No,
It's not
So
hypotenuse.
If it's 1 mile away, then it's gonna be like this, which this distance would be 1 mile because you're going across. The shoreline.
Oh.
1 mile from
yeah.
perpendicular.
So like the x-axis is just basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Edison, you sound like a very professional.
Oh.
What do you want to do?
Be a lawyer.
Actually, you'd be good.
That's what I.
You'd be good.
We'll see.
I'm hiring you.
I want to get a degree in economics. So I don't know if I want to go into business or be a lawyer and get an economics degree because you can kind of be a lawyer with any type of degree. So.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Are you kidding?
I want to go into finance, just do some
Yeah,
like into
exactly.
law school.
That way I have both doors open.
Yeah.
But also economics, that way I don't actually have to go to like.
No, I want to go to business.
No, because I don't want to go to UF business school because I heard that it's like.
Frat parties and stuff.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, if I get an economics degree, I'm still going to be getting a business related degree, but not be in the business school.
I might do, if I go to UF, I might do finance and computer.
Yeah.
Just so I'm not like,
My mom wants me to minor in Spanish, and I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens.
let's do this.
It will help a lot if you manage Spanish.
That's what my mom says. I feel like this is a good plan for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think you have to like when you're explaining things. I think like a good lawyer has to be able to explain your cases. I'm surprised you're not in debate. You'd be pretty good at it.
Yeah, I would say. Amazing. It looks amazing. Do the bacon, amazing.
I know. I think it's a little too late for me, but.
Yeah, you're right.
Now,
I think you'd be
the problem
pretty
was I joined the water polo team, and it's like that kind of just takes up all your time at that point. And then being in that, and then orchestra too, it's like
Oh, you know orchestra? What music? What instrument do you play?
viola.
Really? I would never imagine you played viola.
Really?
Sometimes.
You know what that is?
Some small violin?
It's like a bigger violin.
A bigger violin. Wait, that's between violin and cello?
Yeah. Like you still hold it up, but it's
Oh,
Wait, opposite. Wait,
I thought it was smaller.
it's not, yeah.
oh, violins are.
Wait, why would I a value on? Why don't we just put 0.5 on the value and do so we would have to find, yeah. And then secondary as well.
Oh no, that's not half. That's two.
That's what we get. It's just, you get over BT and it's your.
This is two. Okay.
It's equal to.
I don't know if you got 4/5 or 1/5. I don't remember. I don't remember. I will do it.
Oh, I got 1/5.
You got 1/5.
I'm pretty sure.
Like all the ones you said.
Okay, I'm gonna do it here. I don't know if it's 1/5, 4/5, but you can watch a video. So
Like previous. Not previous, previous.
Okay, thank you.
bye. I use tangent here.
Bye, Richie.
Hi.
Are you giving?
What?
Are we giving homework too? Are we?
Are you giving homework?
Are you giving homework today?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. What's up?
Yeah. Oh.
It's a y
Oh,
over
okay.
x, so this is a 1/1. X over
So
1.
would there ever be a situation where like we can't get the constant on the bottom? Like we'll always get it.
Usually, I mean, the question that will give it for you for my test and things like that nature is always constant gonna be on the bottom. But they are a lot of cases. Math
Can you
is
explain when you tried to take a derivative when the constant wasn't on the bottom, and I was confused on like how you did that. I think you just did it like
the derivative of constant is not on the bottom.
yeah.
Yeah, it's more tedious to do that way, and I won't do that. It's just because of what I don't prefer. So I moved the z up. And I'll take a derivative of this. So -1 put it in the front, so it'll be negative. This one's gonna be -2, and also
Okay, so it'd be the same thing if you were just
you would get some answer, you would get some result, but the problem is we don't have dz/dt. dz/dt is 640. What if you use a 640? What if you got a 640 wrong? Let's say you got a 680. You arithmetic mistake. You base on the information that's given to you. It doesn't really help you. But if you were to use dy/dt, it's hard to make mistake with dy/dt because that's from original question. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank
So
you.
think about what is it's called carry on errors. You don't want to in physics do too. So you want to prevent that from happening. So use at least more original information from original question rather than the answer you got. Only the choice that you can do is you get the answer you got is only if you have no other choices. And because there's nothing to bear.
I'm pretty sure it's because they have an R. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I got an easy. Yeah, kind of like house. Yeah. What were the questions like?
Oh, to not be
The beginning it was matching, like
Okay.
gram,
Not
and then after that it was just
I cannot do
like,
the same thing.
yeah, but what's the matching like?
How much was the back?
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, because art. How fast is that? Absolutely horrible.
It's like, I was like, this thing was simple to two people at the same time. But what was that? What was that? I think that was, what was his name?
So,
Yeah.
with, yeah, that's okay. I realized a single error. This is for you. This is what you missed.
Ah!
Yeah. The days you missed, we gave back your heart.
No, that's how it was with you. Your dad made it, but it was like,
It's all
you
good.
know, like, back in.
I love my blue eyes, blue
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was
I
good.
do. That's how it was always going. And it made total sense.
Oh, I
Oh,
You are in auditorium? Substitute? What are you guys doing now? Class now? Why don't you go to the class? It's a substitute? Well, this class is